Come on, Streamlabs. Alright, so last week, you guys were in the High Forest, mid-battle with the Chien. In the midst of that battle, one of your Lapin emissaries was wounded, and his glamour was dropped, and instead of him being a human, he appeared to be a giant rabbit. That's right, a rabbit.
A bunny.
Big bunny. Just a big giant bunny, like in Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
Only not as weird looking.
Well,
maybe. Maybe there will be some Lapine that do look like that. We'll find out. After you guys butchered the Chien Géants, the Lapin, you guys kind of had a coming out party with the Lapin. They kind of revealed their true nature and asked you guys to keep their secret and let them, present themselves to Lord Crust and their offer and see if he is a willing and just lord and thinks that would allow the Lapin to settle in his county. You guys continue traveling another 2 days through the High Forest. Return to the county. Run into the teen gang again outside the inn. It's always fun. I just like kind of having them harass you, even if they're not even moving the plot along. What do you think of that?
Typical teenagers.
Yeah. Just so they're just like, man, there's a fucking gang of teenagers around here. You guys go inside the inn. Copan spills the secret to Pakal. Rat. Don't tell Copan any secrets. That's what I'm saying. I suppose they didn't tell you. It just kind of happened. Pakal is intrigued and agrees to personally take them to Rug Keep because he wants to see this. He wants to see these big bunnies. Suggests that you guys can take a rest, and he'll take it from there. And you guys take him up on the offer and decide that you'll just get a good night's rest and leave the Lapin to Pakal for now, and you'll do your own stuff tomorrow. So your own stuff includes a trip to the Wizard Tower south of Hickory Hill, as I know Bjorn has been itching to get a look at some of them books. Just like he's fucking just like pacing all the time. Like we should go to the tower. Let's go to the tower.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Feathers has some pretty interesting writings from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's said to be quite the library that is rarely seen by others, as Willem appears to be quite protective of these books. But most wizards don't seem to get a lot of glances and time to browse the historic library of one Larry Feathers.
Yeah. Take some time.
So I think we left off. you guys did your cooking, right? So we can't do any more, Krusty. I know my rights.
Yeah. Cooking's done.
But you did.
My lady berries are marked 0.
But you did take your level up, and I imagine we'll be looking for. Well, I guess with your level up, you get an additional recipe number, right? Per day.
That sounds correct. I don't have the rules pulled up for it, but
I've got it right here.
You get an
3
additional
level 2 recipes. Yeah. So we could each cook one more time, Bjorn.
oh, nice. If
Also, remember if you are cooking, like if you attempt to cook a level 1 recipe, you'll have an additional +1 to the roll because you're higher level, and at a level 0 will give you a +2.
Got it.
I got ladyberries. Do you guys need ladyberries?
I got your fucking ladyberries right here.
say I can make you something.
Oh yeah.
Do we have a roll coming up here?
How many do you got, Gurgler?
Yeah, I thought I had 3. Let me look.
I think you might have given them up.
No, you're right. I did. I don't see them.
I think you
Maybe I
gave them to
took 'em.
Krusty and Bjorn, or one of
I
them,
thought I was.
for the cooking adventure.
I mean, I cooked my own berries, I thought.
Yeah, cause I was gonna give him some, and then yeah, no, I've got them. They're right here. There's 3. It's just not named for some reason. I must have marked it out. Cause I was gonna give them some last time, remember? And then you said that they
We
can
were
only
out of
cook
cooking.
so many times per
Yeah.
day.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That does
I
sound
did
made
have
up.
3.
Just remember also the quantity of berries goes up with these
Yeah, I got it.
higher level recipes. So it's 1.5 at level 1, and it's 2 ladyberry units at level 2.
Alright, well I have 3 ladyberries, and I'm just gonna delete them out of my inventory, and you guys can do something with them.
Should we just try to make 2 more potions, healing potions with them for now? Or what do you think?
That's great.
I think that'd be a good move. I was thinking maybe some of the ladyberry vegetable dip for Gurgleberg. That's
I've got
dex save, movement.
I still have one called Salad Shooter.
Okay.
That's the
So
+2 to dex
wait until you
attack.
eat that one up. Yeah. All right. So yeah, just potions. We can just each
Alright.
make a potion.
And I don't know if that's attack, damage, how long it lasts.
Oh, that's 2
Both.
ladyberry units for that one, right?
If
Oh,
you're
so
going
I
for the
already have
level
one.
2s, it's gonna be 2, or you can brew a level 1 and use
Let's brew 2
1.5.
level 1s. What do you say?
And you get the additional +1 to your roll.
Yeah.
You're also in the inn currently, so remember you get the additional
Alright,
plus
I'm rolling.
+1 in bonus. Ho,
20.
ho.
Nice.
So what were you
That's the
doing?
level 1 recipe.
level
healing
1.
potion recipe.
That's the
That
supreme,
should
isn't it?
be-
Supreme.
Scream.
Alright. Gurgle, you take that supreme, and can I have back that one I gave you earlier?
Absolutely.
Alright. So I took my greater healing back, and I gave you the supreme healing potion. Hell yeah, dude.
Right.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna take whatever's left over, and I'm gonna also try to replicate your
Not-
success. I
not
don't
bad.
quite make it, but it's pretty good still.
That should be a 19, I think.
Yeah,
You're
because
level 2 plus in the inn, and you get an extra bonus, so you should.
Oh,
get
we're
it.
at the end. I forgot the end bonus. Okay. So
that's
yeah,
all right. So 19
Yep.
on what? Level 1 healing potion.
Yep.
That's a superior healing.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Also gonna cost 25 gold pieces each. So
Yep.
50 total gold pieces for those in
Bro.
components.
I'll mark it 0.
Bro, Supreme Healing Potion is so powerful.
That's pretty good.
What is it?
It's 10d4 plus 20.
Fuck.
pretty good.
Save that shit, dude.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's
yeah,
meant to
that's-
be hard to get because you got to roll a
That's
20
when
to
you
get
roll a
it.
20. Yeah.
That is awesome.
We had to roll above a 20. I mean, with bonuses, right?
Yeah, to get it normally, but a natural 20. I made everything a natural 20 is the top tier of the recipe
Yeah.
by design.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
because
nat-
we
nat
all,
20
I
is
like,
better than like a 23, right, or whatever if it's not natural.
I like the idea that a 20 is like,
It's special.
yeah, like if you hit it, it's
maximum
like it should
success,
be
yeah.
the maximum. It's fun. It's fun to shoot for the
Yeah.
20 and get a 20.
It's
Everybody
the crit,
likes
it's the
to get a
proc.
Yahtzee.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I was
like
thinking the dice-
when you get an item and it procs.
Yeah. I mean, it's all
What were you
about
saying, Ethan?
odds, and so a 20 is the best odds. So like, it's the best 5% possible thing.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
So I guess we're done with cooking, aren't we?
yeah, unless there's some of those rabbits around. I mean,
No more cooking, Jesse.
You're gonna cook the rabbits?
stew. I mean, they probably won't like it, but
Oh, you just gave me a fucking idea.
Yeah. We likes it fresh.
yeah.
All right, never mind. That's future. That might be a future plotline.
Gnome stew doesn't taste nearly as good as lapine stew. Just saying.
What if we eat the lapin? Well,
Yeah.
they did state that in their history that was sometimes a problem in tough years with other humanoids. It's hard to bypass that big old fucking rabbit.
Yep. I've eaten
All right,
little rabbits
so-
before. They're pretty good.
I don't know who's got the second potion. I don't need it.
Oh, I took it. I mean,
Don't be
Stella Silver's one.
don't be magicking up
It,
free potions here now.
it might be good to have Gurgler have one that isn't the
Yeah,
potion.
actually.
Yeah, I mean it's a superior healing still, so it's 8d4 plus 8.
Oh wow, yeah.
Here, I'll give you back that greater healing. Take that greater.
I like
The
this.
thing is, like,
this-
Major should be worried about it, but we're never gonna use these potions. These will sit in our inventory.
Of course they were. You guys don't use half the shit.
Yeah.
Gurgleberg's sitting on his food from like 2 battles ago.
I know.
I say that potion is never get drank. Because there will always be a cheaper option.
What if he needs it though, man? What if he
Yeah,
uses it and then he
right?
needs it later?
Exactly. And then on the final boss, every single action is like taking a different potion.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's so fun to watch. It's like, yeah, you give them all this shit, and half stuff's just gonna go into their bag, and they're just gonna hold it. Look at my loot.
I've been training for this since I was a child.
Sometime I will use this potion, but now is not the time.
Yeah.
You're on the ground dying. Do you want to use your healing potion? No, I'll save you
No.
that.
Someone has healing word.
What else you got?
That's way cheaper.
What else you got? Could someone use a healing kit?
Yeah. Did someone just make a wisdom roll on me and stabilize?
All right, so you guys finish up your cooking with a couple of new recipes, and I guess they weren't new recipes, but a couple new skills as you're feeling. You picked up some pointers maybe from Mama Hedgehopper.
Yeah.
I guess she's
I got some
Mama
ideas
Rivers,
for
but
some new recipes though. We were inspired.
yeah, you heard about some new recipes. The Lapin talked about this vegetable dip they had created, and you kind of heard some other things that some of the more astute cooks in the inn had been chatting about. Some of the farmers and stuff that they'd been hearing if you get the ladyberries and you mix them with this and you put in a bit of that and just a dash of that, you can make X, Y, and Z. You also heard about Littleton lamb fries, which sound intriguing. Copam seems to want to eat some.
Pop that shit like candy, man.
Recipes. Yeah.
So you guys set out from the inn after having your breakfast and cooking your buff's foods. And it's early morning, and it's moderate traffic as the bustling county seems to always be a bit busy, especially with this festival coming up too. Remember that. You guys head out south on the Unicorn Trail, and you pass the. I guess not south. You first head west. And after, I don't know, several miles, you pass kind of where Gribble's workshop is, and you just notice several chimneys puffing smoke. Looks like he's busy at work in there, but nothing else of notice. And you continue on the road, and it's, I don't know, an hour or two more. You travel another mile or so, and you reach the edge of the Norse swamp, and this is kind of like one of your homes there, Gurgleberg, as you've been living with Scully Green Eyes for a while, and as you made your social journey from Murloc to county resident. So as you reach the edge of the swamp, why doesn't everyone make a perception check?
What's over there?
What do we get? 18s? Everybody but Gurgleberg. Gurgleberg, you're not paying attention. You're just excited to be near your.
He saw a strange plant that he's not used to seeing in the swamp before, and he's pretty much just focused on that.
It's like, oh, look at that. I've never seen that one like that. It's got an extra leaf. Gurgleberg!
Bump into the back of everybody else. Oops.
The rest of you just notice that it's a beautiful day. How about that?
Nice day for a walk, isn't it?
Yeah, this Major just fucking with you on a perception check. Gotta keep you on your toes. So you continue into the swamp, and there's some light traffic here, and it's not, you're not alone really, and there's farmers and merchants and townsfolk and newcomers and travelers and some people that don't look to be so fine and upstanding as more and more of those folk are being drawn to this gold rush, so to speak. And you reach the edge of the swamp after, I don't know, probably about, it's like a mile and a half or so. 2 miles wide there, and this is just the North Swamp. It's pretty small. But it's home to Gurgleberg. And you cross the Hickory Creek and begin approaching the town of Hickory Hill. Now you guys are heading south of town to the tower, but I thought we'd just remind and show you the map from the outskirts from season 1, just because it was quite the map.
Yeah.
Just to refresh you, maybe. Maybe I don't want to share it with you. It might just crash your computers.
It's a risk I'm willing to
damn.
take. I've never seen it.
Alright, I'll
Yeah,
share it.
me
It's
neither.
quite the map. It's got like farm fields.
It seems like the new Fantasy Grounds maps are being a little snappier, so maybe they optimized that a little bit.
Yep.
Who knows?
That's true.
Yeah, I think they did. They probably, they doesn't seem to bog down all the clients as much.
Yeah. But it's still not 0, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was.
If you remember,
Yeah, I
this
remember
was
my
the this looked a little bit different last time you were here, as it was like turned into like a battlefield, like siege, if you recall. I still have that map, but we don't have the siege walls up, as the if you remember, the dragon had decimated parts of this town and was wounded by the firepower from Bivig Buck's ship, his riverboat. But then the Murlocs and some of their swamp fiends had like started a siege on the town, if you recall. You guys went in and cleared it out with Chadwick Rugg and Rugg soldiers at the time. Remember that?
Oh, I remember. We swept the city. We met them at the docks.
Yep. That was fun. That was I think first time I started using like ambient damage.
Yeah.
So fun.
Ambient damage is fun because it's like I don't even have to have a monster near you. It's just like roll.
Do it.
If you roll wrong, you're gonna get hurt. So you guys kind of head along the outskirts of Hickory Hill, and all of the damage from 20 years ago has been, pretty much fixed and rebuilt, and a lot of the town has been added to, especially with the recent migration that's kind of taken place. And as you pass the kind of that turn off to head towards Fallen Trees Farm to the north, you kind of round a bend, and your Hickory Hill is kind of on a hill overlooking the river, and the Wizard's Tower is kind of at the bottom of the hill, but it's between the Wizard's Tower and the bottom of the hill is what is now known as South Hickory Hill, but it's not on the map, but it is kind of where many of the less wealthy newcomers have sort of built a shanty town and makeshift hovels, and sort of built a new, like, think like 1800s like style, like mining town, where everything's just real haphazard, not a lot of planning, and everything's like muddy streets, and it's been quite the shit show. So as you're passing along, you kind of walk by that and see it from the road. And Copan, you've probably been in there before. Gurgleberg, maybe you probably visited it once or twice. You pass that, and then you head to the turnoff to this Wizard's Tower.
Major, I didn't want to interrupt your description, but I think we're blacked out on the Hickory Hill outskirts map. Like, nobody can see it.
I don't think we're on the map. I think we're still on the old one.
Oh, it won't let you see it?
Yeah, because we're still at the Naked Halfling Inn, our characters, so it's a black screen for us. There we go.
It's quite the
You're
map.
doing a great job narrating. I didn't want to interrupt.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Right.
me neither.
I wanted my map to get shown though, because it's quite the
Yeah.
map. I didn't make this
Yeah.
map. I tweaked it a bit, but this was stolen stuff. This, I think I made. Yeah, there was other parts. There was like a downtown, but this was the outskirts with the Broken Wheel Tavern. Is that tavern right there?
Nice.
I think we had some hijinks and fun in that first season. So yeah, probably expect this map to come back into play.
Nice.
Just because it's kind of a fun map.
Lots of crops. Are there any ladyberries growing over here?
No.
Crops.
Well, there is a ladyberry field that the town has. If I remember my lore correctly, there's 3 different areas where ladyberries are being grown. Most of it's being grown in Gilroy's backyard. Gribble's got a greenhouse that I didn't build on his map, but probably come into play here in the future. And there is a ladyberry field near this town, or in this town.
In the town of Hickory Hill, co-op owned by the villagers. 35%.
Yes, owned by the villagers. Kind of like...
Scott took notes.
35% of all ladyberries are grown in Hickory Hill.
Is that what I wrote? Is that what I said?
I don't know. I got notes that says locations for Lady Sybil berries, Gilroy's cabin, 2 large fields, 50%. In the town of Hickory Hill, co-op owned by the villagers, 35%. Gribble Tinkerwind workshop, 15%. Working on making a greenhouse as plants go dormant in the winter. I don't know. I don't remember any of that myself, but I took notes.
That sounds all right. All of that sounds previously made up in my mind and sounds all with my... That sounds right. So yeah, Gilroy's would be half of the production, and then the town's got a decent size field, but it's not pictured on this map currently. Maybe it will be on this map. But there's also some downtown maps. I don't know. It's not important at the moment. So as you guys travel past that area, travel past South Hickory Hill, we arrive at the tower formerly known as Larry Feathers.
Bjorn's gonna Kopan's gonna look over at Bjorn and say, "This is on you, buddy. I don't know how to deal with these wizards."
Yeah, a bunch of fucking nerds.
You have to be faster than they are.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure
Usually
Gurgler
isn't that
is.
hard.
Yeah.
A lot faster than all you guys. We gotta get away. I'm hoofing it.
Yeah. I think I'm probably the slowest out of the whole crew, so.
I think I'm same. I got all this armor. I may be big for a halfling, but I'm heavy.
Yeah. I'm small for a gnome, and I'm still a gnome, so.
You're small.
Yeah.
Gurgler and Alessander are so fast.
Oh, yeah.
Well, although Alessander wear armor?
No, just barbarian. No.
Oh, but I'm totally wearing a
Unarmored
breastplate.
defense.
Despite all her rage, she is still just an elf babe.
Yeah, I am totally wearing armor though.
I thought you didn't wear armor. Do you wear armor?
No, I got a breastplate.
They can wear like half medium armor, right?
Yeah.
You just don't get the unarmed
No, you just can't
bonus,
benefit from
right?
rage and heavy armor. I remember we had a whole conversation about this.
Ah.
medium armor.
You don't get the
Yeah.
barb speed bonus either, I don't think.
Maybe.
Maybe as it stands right now, I'm not getting a lot of like I have a higher AC with this, and there's not any significant downside for me right now.
Yeah.
Despite all your rage, you're still just an elfish babe. Okay, so you guys arrive at this tower, and it's kind of sits off on its own away from the town, out on a little like peninsula near the river. If you recall from season 1, we visited old Larry here, I think a couple times. And first time we had to go into his basement and kill some murlocs that had gotten in, but so it's a, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 story tall tower. It's significantly taller than most other buildings in the town. And but it's also at the bottom of the hill and away from the town. So but it stands off and it can be seen kind of from ways away. It's an iconic symbol of Hickory Hill County, or Hickory County. And as you guys arrive, you walk up to the door. And it's a big... Is it a wooden door? What did I make there? Where's my goddamn image? It's a big double wooden door. It's old. It looks rather intricate, as Larry Feathers was a man of... In his ancient years, had become a man of some means. And had built this tower. And that's where you're at. You walk up to the wizard tower. What you got?
All right. Do people like live here? That one, I can't remember his name, but we met him in the inn.
Willem Feathers.
Does he live here? Willem Feathers, thank
he
you.
lives here. This is like his house and the library.
All right. So we shouldn't just break in. We should knock on the door.
Oh wow! You're just
Yeah.
gonna bust it. You're just like, dude, let's just fucking just rage in.
Say hi. Yeah. Well, I was, but people live here, so we'll knock.
Bjorn, in Hickory County, we don't just break into houses. I mean, come on.
There's books in there, though, Bjorn.
There are books in there.
It's very rare books in there.
Yeah.
I guess your morals were questioned, Bjorn, by your companion Copan.
He wouldn't say it out loud, but he would be thinking, I feel like Copan's a little generous with the we terminology there.
He probably like grabbed you and like grabbed your arm, your like shoulder, and like turned you around and just like looked at you and was like, what the fuck?
There was no judgment there. It was just I was just reminding him.
Informing him.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, should we knock, or should I, like, cast a spell and yell for Willem to come out here and say hi?
You just knock if you want, but if you wanted to go forward with, like, breaking in, I'm okay with that, too.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought you would go that route, but
so.
I'm prepared to adapt.
We can swerve. No, let's just knock on the door. We'll be cool about it.
All right. So you pound on this ancient, I guess it's not that ancient, but this large wooden door, and after several minutes, Willem Feathers comes to the door and opens it, and as soon as he opens the door, he looks and sees you guys, and he kind of smiles and says, "Oh, you've come! Oh, welcome! Come in!"
Yeah. Oh, hey. Willem, I've heard great stories about this hall, about this tower.
So as you walk into the tower, it appears to have it just smells of old books Bjorn. The
wonderful.
minute
Bjorn loves it.
you walk in,
Yeah.
it's just like smells of an old library, that old leather, and kind
Yep.
of mildewy paper smell.
If there's any, like, Bjorn would definitely still be paying attention to Willem and like trying to talk to him and stuff. But if there's bookshelves, he wants to go like look through the bookshelves.
There's really not many in this room. You imagine that those
Yeah.
are on the upper levels of this tower.
Yep.
But there is there's a few books over on this little table
Yeah.
over here on the writing corner, and Willem kind of welcomes you guys in and kind of beckons you to the couches over here. He says, "Come, sit over here. Can I get you a drink?"
Yeah, I'll take one. I'm sure my
And he,
companion would like one as well.
kind of goes over to a little pitcher of wine and pours some glasses and hands them to you guys, and walks over here. Are you gonna come sit by him, or are you guys just gonna stand in the doorway? Just hang out in the doorway. So he beckons you over, and he says, "Nah, I've heard you've been up to some more exploits. Didn't find you around the inn the last several days."
Yeah, we've met some friends on the road. They've kept us busy.
Good, he says. "Have you come to look for my lost books? Well, not lost, stolen." And he says stolen with a large amount of contempt.
I've mostly just heard stories of Larry Feathers and what a great wizard he was.
Well,
Sorry, out of character. We're looking for books that were stolen from him, right?
remember you had met him at the inn, and he had said, "Come to the tower, and I'll give you the more information and locations and of where my former apprentice had taken three of
Gotcha.
the collection, what he calls it, his books.
Yeah.
Some would say
we're
it's
here to help.
it's just the estate of Larry Feathers, and he's just a caretaker. But he would argue that he owns all this.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys then agreed at the inn to come, and he had agreed that there will be significant gold rewards for retrieval, and he also tried to coerce you guys to not just retrieve his books, but to exact punishment to
Revenge.
his former apprentice, one Elton
Slash book
Fingers.
thief. Elton Fingers. Nice. Yeah, so tell us about how this book got stolen, or these books got stolen. How did he manage to get them
says,
out of here?
Elton was a local orphan, and I knew from the start he was bad news, but the sheriff wanted me to take him in, and he needed something, so I allowed him to be my apprentice for a year.
Very nice of you.
Well, he was an all-right apprentice, but he kind of was mouthy and just didn't seem to want to do the work of the apprentice. And after a year, he became insolent. We had an argument, and when I came back from town, he had left, taken all of his things, and stolen 3 books of considerable value from the library. He says he now lives in Shantytown, nearby. He's become a member of a gang of ruffians. they call themselves the River Rats, which is an apt name if you ask me. And he kind of you drips with
spits on the floor.
he just his speech just, you could tell that he's just has an amount of hatred for Mr. Fingers.
And we've never heard of the river rats before.
Copan, you have heard there is, we'll give you a little backstory. There's, in this shanty town and then in some of the more shadier places of the county, there's two sort of gangs have formed. One of them is known as the River Rats, and they are generally Hickory Hill, like orphans and residents, like long-term locals or natural-born citizens. And then there's a group of outsiders have kind of formed a violent gang known as the Jokers. And these
Are
two
the
gangs,
river rats violent?
yeah, these two gangs commit like petty crimes in the shantytown area and Hickory Hill and around, and they're kind of a menace. They're not like serious crimes generally. It's mainly, like not teenage crime, but maybe a level up. They'll do like thefts and some fights and just kind of some of the rougher crowd has formed into these two gangs in the shanty town. And I wouldn't say there's like a huge membership of them. They're just you just have somewhat knowledge of them. They're not like notorious gangs. They're just a bunch of local thugs.
Yeah. So I have something in my notes about a slumlord.
That sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you who that was.
Oh, there was. Oh, right. No, the people in the inn were like important people when we were eavesdropping. We're talking about the shanty town and how they were being led by someone that was a possible slumlord.
Gotcha.
I see. All right, so now we know more about it. There's two gangs.
Yeah, that was one of our first nights. Nice notes, dude.
I mean, I don't remember anything. I get too stoned when we play to actually remember anything.
Yeah. So I'm too stoned to make sense of the notes that I do write. It's kind of a problem in our Thursday night campaign. Pulling out post-it notes going, what the fuck was I?
That's my life in general, I feel like.
Oh, man.
My desk.
I mean, all this lore is just written on note cards. Various note cards, and then once it gets transferred into the Discord, I generally use the Discord for quicker reference. But sometimes I'll have to go and find a note card and be like, holy shit, I need the actual quest note card to get more details. I think the slumlords they were talking about was maybe the leaders of some of these gangs. Yeah. If I remember correctly, how I had that was setting that up, and it also could have been that I might have had a different idea and it might have changed a little bit. But what they were talking about, I think, was also just how they were gonna deal with this area and its problems. Exactly. As these overflowing population is creating a housing problem, and these temporary housing and suspect buildings are not a permanent solution for residents.
So you said the river rats were like made up of like more local people, and the jokers are like
Are
new to the area?
Yeah, people new to the area that have kind of come and form foreign ruffians that have kind of banded together to counteract the the river rats, and because they're the river rats are local guys, so they're gonna be anti newcomers. This is your town. So what he's I guess back to the main plot line here, or the current plot line. Elton Fingers has become entangled in this gang. Willem explains that if you recall, after these were stolen, Lord Crust and the authorities were contacted, and Elton's new shanty, or whatever he calls his hole that he lives in, was searched, and he was questioned, but these books were never found, and but there was no more punishment issued, as it seemed that the authorities said, what can we do? Should we put him in jail and permanently? And they didn't seem to believe me.
Well, if he doesn't have the books and he's not talking, what do you expect us to do? We're not going to go to the shanty town and,
He says, he has the books. The guards just weren't willing to do what it takes to find them. And why would they? They've got their hands full with all kinds of stuff. They're not going to go searching for books. That's what Barristone told me. He said this is the best we could do. We don't have the manpower to go tracking him down and following him around at all hours of the day, looking to see if he stashed them somewhere. That's what I want to hire you guys for.
Yeah.
He says, I would do it myself, me being such a wizard of such power, but he has many friends, and they would recognize me instantly. And they're always sticking together, those river rats.
Yeah. I mean, I've got some pretty good friends.
I'll offer you 5,000 gold pieces for each book that you return to the library.
Alright. I mean, that sounds like a pretty good deal.
And if say in the process of getting these books, say some justice were to happen to this Elton Fingers, there might be another 10,000 gold pieces in it for you, if you know what I mean.
I do think I'm picking up what you're laying down.
And at that moment, he also looks over at you, Bjorn, and he says, perhaps you could have some research time in the library upstairs also as a reward.
Oh, very nice.
What do you say? Will you take up my offer?
Sure.
I mean, out of character, does anybody have any objections? Because Bjorn would be fucking stoked about this. He was willing to go look for the books for free. So.
I mean, looking for some stolen books is fine. How did Copan feel about the fact that this guy just tried to fucking hire us to assassinate this dude?
I'm not willing to go. I'm not willing to go to the shanty towns to murder,
No, we're not gonna murder
citizens of Hickory County. I'll go retrieve stolen property, and I'll defend myself. But I'm not gonna mete out the Lord's justice without any order to do so. Not here in town, without any due process.
Yeah.
Just because some shady wizard wants me to do it. And I'd say this right here in front of old Willem Feathers. I'm not sure how he got that surname anyway. He's not the direct line of Larry as far as I know.
No, he just kind of adapted the name as he was a orphan too that Larry had taken in, if you recall. And he didn't.
The stories about. Go ahead.
He didn't have a long time as Larry's apprentice. He was. It was towards the end of Larry's run there, so he didn't receive a lot of tutelage from Larry. He was the only apprentice that was left. If you recall, many of them were murdered by Murlocs. So he just kind of happened to be the only apprentice left, and Larry died, and just right place at the right time.
Yep.
So he was saved by Lord Crust and Pakal.
Yeah, if you remember, he was he had a club in a troll battle that he rolled several 20s in. He punched way above his weight class in that fight. The only reason why he made it to season 3 because he had a somewhat memorable experience for the DM. But that was many years ago, and he's had all those years and all of this somewhat wealth and fame that just this possession of this tower has brought him. So he's not the same. He's not the same brave teenager that he once was.
I don't know. Let's just go see what we can do with this.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'd respond to Willem and say, I think we're in.
He kind of looks at you and he says, perhaps a short taste in the library would be something I could offer you right now. Would you like to go and peruse some books, Bjorn?
I would, but you guys are gonna have to go do the rest of the mission by yourselves then.
Oh no, he says, it's just a short time, then you can go do the mission. I just wanted to let you see what's out there, and perhaps you'd reconsider the offer of vengeance if maybe I could throw in unlimited research time too. But first, before you make any decisions, why don't you come and have a little look at the library? And he says, the rest of you can entertain yourselves down here. I'm going to escort Bjorn up to the library and have him take a little look around.
Out of character, this feels like a trap. In character, he's so fucking stoked about going to see this library. He's heard so many stories about this place. This is
the sad part
is too self-interested to trap you.
The sad part is I didn't make the map for the library, so we're just gonna have to RP it.
We'll
but
RP it. Yep.
Things are gonna happen in the library.
Nice. Yeah, I'll totally go to the library. I'll look at what books he wants to show me, even if they're inappropriate pictures.
So you go up the winding stairwell in this tower, and you get to the second level, and as soon as you get off of the landing on the stairs, the smell of books and old leather is just like, it almost knocks you out. It's like, ah. Yeah. And you see there's like rows and rows of just ancient spell books and manuscripts and books of history and books of like books of just like journals of different people. And as you reach the top of the landing, Willem turns to you and he says, "Now, I see you're a wizard," he says. "I'll not have you bringing any writing utensils into my library. Hand him over.
That's fine.
He kind of he
I'll-
kind of pats you down a little bit too, and pulls a quill out and
Yeah.
says, And he says, "All right, you may look around. We'll see how long." He says, "Maybe 10, 15 minutes. I don't know. Just want you to get an idea of what could all be yours to look at and research and copy and enjoy if you would do this for me." And he kind of smiles and he sits over at a little desk in one corner and he beckons the library to you and
Yeah, Bjorn would definitely spend a few minutes, like, looking around.
so you kind of look around and you see just many different just ancient tombs, tomes,
Yeah.
some you recognize, some that just look like straight up spell books of like long dead wizards. And as Willem is kind of watching you look around, and he's kind of just getting impatient, and you notice him start to do the pee-pee dance.
All right.
And after another minute or so, you're just kind of looking, and you kind of pick up a few books and just kind of browse the covers, maybe crack them open. Several spell books of somewhat renown that are just from looking at them, you're like, I can't do these are spells can't even begin to understand.
Much higher
And
level.
after about a minute of Willem doing the pee-pee dance, he kind of looks and he says, "I have to go to the bathroom. I'll return in a bit." And he leaves. He goes back down the stairs, obviously to go wherever he's gonna go find the wherever the what do they call them back in the day? Laboratories or something?
Privy.
The privy? Wherever the privy is.
Privy.
So he walks out. He leaves you alone in the library, Bjorn. Why don't you roll a D12?
D12.
A D12.
Also, if there is anything interesting to copy down and write down, I can totally summon a magical quill. So him taking my quill was just a formality.
Well, it's almost like I wrote this little thing exactly designed for your
I
character
know.
class.
Yeah, because it's never gonna come up in any other situation.
I know, and I looked at it and I go, "Well, I think I can make this work."
Nice.
Because it's very particular mechanic
it's such a cool
developed.
flavor, but it's so useless.
Oh yeah, the fact. So as he leaves the room, you look around and you realize you're all alone.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? What do you want to look for? You can summon your magic quill and decide. You still have your spellbook on you, so if you were to look and perhaps find a spell, you might be able to quickly copy it down.
Yeah, I would definitely look for one that's like close to my level. But I mean, really, I would just start copying.
Do you want to?
spells.
The question is, do you want to look for? There's 3 things you can look for. You can search for a particular spell.
Okay.
And then you're gonna make a roll to see if you find this spell.
Gotcha.
Or you can just start kind of randomly looking. Or you can also look for a piece of history or some piece of lore or something that might be in a history book that's not necessarily a spell that might be in this library. What do you want to do?
The RPer in me wants to look up lore, but the min-maxer in me wants to look up a spell.
Get a spell, dude.
Yeah, fuck it. Min-maxer's winning on this one. I want to try to look up, see if Larry Feathers had any cool spells laying around. And copy those over. And then I can read lore, and I don't necessarily need to copy it over, but spells are trickier.
So, do you want to look? Do you want to search for a particular spell that you want to try and learn, or do you just want to look for? I mean, you can only write down spells that you can actually cast, right?
I will double check the ruling on that, but I think I could write down any spell. I just can't use it until. But I'll double check that.
I thought
later.
you had to, in order to write something, you had to you had to be able to cast it.
That's probably right. Because I know you have to be able to cast it. Like, you have to be the right class and stuff. Okay, so yeah, it has to be of a spell level you can prepare. So you were right. So yeah, I don't have any like particular spell picked out that I would like, but I can look for one real quick. Unless you have something.
I don't have anything. It's
in
up to
mind.
you on what you want to. If you want to look for a particular spell, or you can just do a random look, and then I'm just gonna take a shot at the. What can you cast? Level 2 spells.
Yep, level 2 for now. Next level, we'll get access to level 3.
If you do your random roll, then I'm just gonna based
Alright,
on your roll, I'm gonna look at either a level 1 or level 2, and then probably just pick one.
Alright, sounds good. What am I rolling for it?
Well, if you have a particular spell that you want to look for, or even a cantrip, I'll allow you to add a cantrip also.
Probably good on that. I will look for. I just want to look for a spell. It can be random, like first, second level wizard. Just kind of whatever's here.
All right, roll a d20.
A 13. Does that find me anything?
Yeah, you're looking through a book, and as you are browsing through what appears to be some wizard you've never heard of before, some long dead wizard, you're guessing by the age of this book, you find a spell. Do you have Shatter?
I do not have Shatter.
You have Shatter now.
Awesome.
I believe it takes you how long? 2 minutes per spell level to copy it into your book?
Yeah, with my magical quill, it's super quick.
All right. Well, it took you 5 minutes to kind of browse through this book and find the spell that you recognized that you could add to your book, that you were capable of casting.
Nice.
And then it's 4 minutes to write it. As you're finishing up this spell, you hear Willem come shuffling up the stairs and walks into the room, but you have time to stash your little quill.
Yeah, I can just make it disappear into the void.
You gentlemen and ladies
the one that
in
I
the
handed him earlier disappeared as soon as I summoned a new one. I just realized that.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, what he had done actually is he put it in his pocket, so he may not even notice.
Yeah, it's not in his pocket anymore.
I'm not gonna make him roll for that. I'll just say he didn't notice. He had to pee. As you guys in downstairs, after several minutes, Willem comes down doing the pee-pee run and heads to the privy. And goes into the privy for several minutes. He must have decided there was more than a little pee-pee coming. And he comes back out, and it smells like he did more than a little pee-pee. And as he kind of walks by you guys and heads back up, kind of looks at you oddly. Looks at you, Copan, like... gives you a little bit of a stink eye just because he knows you're the goody two shoes.
Copan's
You know
mad.
that he didn't wash his hands.
Yeah, Copan is mad dogging him the whole way. He's just like shaking his head slowly. Shady motherfucker. Shady wizard. My friend didn't need your bucks.
Make an intimidation roll, Copan.
I'll make an intimidation roll.
Goddamn right, I'll
on
take
him
it.
too. Can I help him and
yeah.
give him advantage?
Oh,
No, but you can make your own mean mugging elf babe,
All right,
face.
fair enough. I'm going more for like the classic like rich British lady like looking at you like and just finding you wanting.
Oh, with a lot of chin in the air.
Yeah.
A lot of chin, like.
Like when
looking
Dave
down your
Coogan
nose.
was always
Yep.
disappointed at James Bond, you know.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Neither one of you.
Neither one of us are doing a good job.
Neither one of you make a very intimidating face as the smell of the poop is a bit off-putting.
Yeah.
And he goes back
Gross.
upstairs and sits back in his chair, Bjorn, and starts watching you. Not really. He's kind of picking at his he's picking at his teeth with his fingers, which is not great because he just pooped.
Yeah, he didn't wash his hands. I can see it.
This is ancient times. Times are different.
Yep.
Back when men were men.
The thing is, I could cast.
And men were rabbits sometimes. I mean, there was a horrible plague around here not too long ago. He should have
I wonder why.
better manners. So you're kind of, you stop, obviously you finished copying that spell and you're kind of looking around
Yeah, I'm gonna
at it.
go to reading the lore books now and
You just
like
kind of
myself
start
and
glancing at some of the lore
Yep.
books, and you look at one of the history books, and it's a. You look at it, it appears to be a history of the Rug family from like 120 years ago. It's very dry, but it just tells of their like seasons and kind of what happened in the county at the time, like crops and taxes. It's very it's like an accountant's journal almost. It's not very interesting, but actually it is very interesting to you.
I would say
you're
that
intrigued.
sounds fascinating. That sounds great.
And you kind of browse at it, and after I don't know, we'll say after about 5 minutes, Will and Feathers appears he might have eaten something a little bad, and he kind of stands up and kind of grabs his stomach a little bit, and he looks at you. He says, I shall return in a few. You may continue to your research for now. Are you liking what you're seeing? And you kind of see him kind of make a, ooh, I got a shit face.
Nice.
He goes back down the stairs and heads off. And you guys in the downstairs see Mr. Feathers come walking by you. He kind of looks over and mugs Elisanda and Copan a little bit. And you see him kind of holding his gut like, oh, he's got more poop coming.
Oh my god. Get me out of this disgusting tower.
Mazer, why don't you roll a d12?
D12. Perfect.
Ooh.
12.
All right, what do you want to do here? He's now left the library again, and judging by his face and what you determined was about to happen downstairs in the privy, you might have a little bit of time here. You might have a few minutes.
Yeah. I mean, part of me wants to steal this whole fucking book about rug history and go, like, give it to Elisanda and Capan and Gurgle. Have them hold it, but I don't know if he would notice and be upset that we're stealing books. Yeah, I mean, if we have plenty of time, I would try to find another spell. That
Okay. Do you want to just randomly look for some cool spells, or do you have a spell in mind that you think that you would particularly need to want to add to your repertoire?
there's not a lot of first and second level spells that are great for wizards. It really picks up at third level. Uh, I guess does anybody not have dark vision? Would that be helpful for anyone, or do we all have dark vision?
I definitely have dark vision.
Yeah.
Copan does not have dark vision. Halflings don't.
Then I'll pick up the dark vision spell.
You want to search for the dark vision spell?
Yep. That's
All right.
what I'll look for.
You need to roll a d20, and it's a DC 11.
Nope.
You're
3.
unable to find the dark vision spell.
Yeah.
But in your while you're scanning looking for this dark vision spell, you find a gust of wind spell.
Oh, very nice.
And you
There we
think,
go.
well, it's not what I was looking for, but
quite nice.
it took you 5 minutes to kind of browse as you were looking for dark vision in this one spell book that you thought would be promising, and you decide then that you're just going to write this gust of wind spell in, because you never know when a gust of wind might be useful, especially after this guy's done in the privy. It might be useful.
Right.
So you copy that into your spell book. It takes 4 minutes and 5 minutes to search, and it's 9 minutes you've been up here now. You still don't hear him coming, though, as you finish this spell book. You're still all alone in the library, but
I
wonder how much longer.
I feel like after that much time, he would come down the stairs to like check on people. I mean, he is having a great time up in the library, but it's been almost 10 minutes.
So after you finish this gust of wind spell, you kind of step down the stairs and take a look around and look at your friends and kind of see them just kind of sitting there, just hanging out. They're just hanging out.
They're just chilling.
Yeah, just chilling. Maybe
Sphinx down here, dude.
Copan's everybody's probably just fucking with their gear and armor and shit. I imagine if I was wearing like lots of armor, I'd always be fucking with it.
Oh yeah.
Just like, adjusting straps and like something's broken that you gotta fucking deal with, and it's probably just a
dent
non-stop thing, yeah, or like something's rubbing you in a wrong place and you're like, fuck, I gotta do something about this strap. And as you go down there, after a minute or two, once you're downstairs, Willem comes out of the privy and stinked up the place. And he appears to be a lot lighter and appears a lot more relieved. And he comes over and he says, "Well, I hope you enjoyed your little taste of the library." He says, "Remember the offer? You could have many, many hours of access to that library if you would help Willem out." He says, "But remember, retrieve the stolen books, and the gold will be yours, heroes."
All right. I say we head to the shantytown and look for this book thief.
He also tells you that Elton Fingers, I don't know if I said where they hang out, but they hang out in a tavern called Bottom Billy's Tavern in Shantytown. And Copan, you know where this is at. Like I said, you've been to the Shantytown a couple of times. Not like you hang out there, but you You were escorted maybe Lord Crust at one time or another as a ward, and I'm sure Barristone's gone in there for various problems that maybe perhaps you went along as just
Some extra
a
muscle.
little training and a little muscle, but you were never really involved in any fights there or anything. But you've been there, so you know the layout roughly, so you know where this bar's at. At that point, it's 9:45. Let's take our 5-minute break here, and we shall head over to Bottom Billy's Tavern in Shantytown.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, nothing bad's gonna happen there.
It'll be fine. Sure, it'll be great. All right, yeah, back in 5.
We never even fight in this campaign.
In this session, yeah. It's been peaceful.
I'm back. I never really left.
Yeah, me either. I'm just finishing off my notes of and the uncontrollable shitting and spellbook copying adventure.
Yep.
Cause
Top tier writing.
yeah,
George R.R. Martin should take notes.
well, if George R. R. Martin was writing it, there'd be an entire paragraph about the different smells of the shit.
Yep.
Not that I'm
And
really
what I-
bashing him. I do really like his writing, but some of the descriptions, oh my fucking god, man.
Dude, if George R.R. Martin was writing this, we would never play.
Right. One session every few years. But it's a 14-hour session.
No.
Oh man, I remember. So one of my favorite books in high school, I convinced my buddy to start reading it because I told him, no, the guy's already written all 3 books. Like, you don't have to worry about it. Like, they're gonna come out.
We're on book 17 now.
No, man, fucking. The second book came out in 2011, and the third book's still not fucking out, man.
Yeah, that's not good.
He fucking like promised if his fans raised a certain amount of money in like a charity drive, he promised to release a chapter of book 3. And like that was like 18 months ago, and he still hasn't even done that. And apparently, he was trying to write a blog post apologizing for it for like months that he like, couldn't even
But
finish.
he couldn't even write that.
Yeah, he couldn't even write the blog post, and I'm just like, man, you can't write a fucking blog post,
Like at that point, are you really a writer or an author? Like,
we're so fucked.
it's literally your job, man. Like,
I mean, ostensibly.
right?
Well, I'm slightly uncomfortable with this whole mission going to the slums of Hickory Hill.
I'm incredibly.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
I just started watching The Wire, man. I'm incredibly uncomfortable right now.
Yeah.
I say Mazer is totally untrustworthy of Willem Feathers. Bjorn is completely enraptured. He fucking loves these books. He loves this library. Like he doesn't care for Willem, but he's the key. He has the keys to the place that Bjorn wants to be.
Yeah.
I have no stomach for killing men and halflings in the village.
I wouldn't plan on killing anybody. Just a little prankster, you know. Play some little jokes.
I know Major's MO.
Yeah. Gonna make us kill a kid. Been down that route before.
Good thing Ted always takes the fall for the group.
I don't do kids, that's a rule. But the rule is negotiable if the kid's a dick.
Right.
Yeah. What's that from? I've heard that before.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Is
No,
it?
no.
Nice.
No.
I was thinking Deadpool, but yeah.
It is vaguely Deadpool-esque.
Right. Also, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is amazing. Such a good show.
Yeah.
Alright. You guys ready to go to Shantytown?
I guess.
Yeah.
Ellison is not super excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about how much we don't trust Willem, but
Sentiment is low around this mission.
For you, Mazar, future visits to the Wizard's Tower, you should probably want to go with some
plans in mind.
some
or-
spells that you're wanting in mind for future. I suppose once you get to level 3, it probably would have been a lot easier just to look at it
Yeah.
and be like, I'll take that one and that one.
Yeah. Say everything above 3rd level slots is a bunch of good shit.
There's a lot of good shit.
And I should have taken.
I mean,
I
even
talked
level
to you
2,
about it in
there's a lot of
Discord while
stuff.
ago. I should have taken Find Familiar and made it a bird. It would have been thematic.
Oh yeah,
But
true.
I didn't
suppose.
think about it until after
Well,
we'd already gotten them both.
might be something to look at
Yeah.
next time you get there. Next time, as the parents say.
Yeah.
A little familiar named Larry. A little bird familiar named
Right?
Larry.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun.
Just call him Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Is Ted back? I haven't heard Ted.
I thought I did earlier, but maybe not.
Yeah.
There he is. Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's go to the slums.
Yeah.
And try to stay out of trouble.
All right.
Yeah. Go beat up a quote unquote book thief. also known as probably a guy who has his own side of the story.
I guess we'll find out if you find him.
Yeah.
Alright, let me put this little... Let's save that note card with my research mechanic written down. Oh, I should have given points for all that. Hi, Dorothy. Alright, so you guys leave the tower, and you're glad to be out of there, because it smelled in the tower at the moment. Somebody light a fucking match or something. And you head back to the road, and you're on your way to Bottom Billy's, and you turn north. You don't have to go to the main road now. You set to some, kind of like the little interim side streets that run there, and it's only, I'll say it's a couple 100 yards to the north, kind of around a bend, and you travel past some, after a little ways from the Wizard's Tower, you start traveling past parts of Shantytown, and it's ramshackle houses and little lean-to sheds, and there's some more elaborate, just run-down structures that were just quickly built, or were built several years ago, but have just it's also not a great place to build. It's in the lowlands near the river, and drainage is an issue. It's just it wasn't a good idea to start building there, but it just kind of happened as people looking for places to set up shop near Hickory Hill and be close to the Ladyberries. They just kind of picked a place, and a camp turned into a town. It's muddy streets. Everything's dirty. There's not a lot of, everything's kind of all willy-nilly. There's like no planning, There's a bit of a central road, but it's loosely organized. So let's get Willem's ass out of here. The fuck? All right. There's several hundred people that live in this shanty town, which is at the bottom of the hill. And Hickory Hill, the greater part of Hickory Hill resides like kind of up on the hill, except for the docks part. Shut up, Dorothy! Come on. Which is on the river. But like that outskirts you passed would be like higher up on the hill. Probably, I don't know, 50 to 100 feet above where you're at now. Not a huge hill, but it's pretty big. So you guys turn down the kind of the main road that's leading towards the river, and you do know that this is where Bottom Billy's is. The blue circle. Oh. Whoop. 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 There you go. So yeah, there's several hundred people that live in this makeshift town. And as you're getting closer to kind of where the main road ends, and you're gonna have to turn off onto kind of a side road that'll lead to the north, you do notice the sewer grates, and the sewers have a smell here, and some of the knowledge of the sewers is that they were kind of hastily constructed over like caves that are naturally kind of on the bottom of this hill and it's a temporary thing done to try and alleviate some of the flash flooding that occurs. This being a poor place to have chosen to build. But as you're walking by them, you can't help but notice them as it smells. It stinks. Obviously, it's not just rainwater going in there, if you know what I mean.
No.
A lot of bathroom smells this session.
Is that what it is? I didn't. Obviously, I forgot to get the quote updated because I got lost at the end in trying to update recipes. But I think, I should have done it would have been bathroom related, I think. That was unintentional. It's just kind of evolved into it.
Yeah.
So it's just something to take note of. It stinks.
Let's head north to the pub. I'm sick of this stink.
Sick of this stinking town.
This whole mission stinks.
All right, so you guys, are you heading there, or are you just staying? Are you just gonna hang out?
I'm going.
Yeah.
So as you're heading north towards the Bottom Billy's Tavern, you pass by this kind of where this well is, and there's kind of a little marketplace here, kind of a localized marketplace. And you see people kind of selling all manner of things, but you also see some people selling ladyberries, and the going price for ladyberries here is 225 gold pieces for a ladyberry unit. I believe I said it right around there last time. If anybody wants to spend their hard-earned gold pieces on ladyberries, now would be an opportunity. Or
Yeah.
we could just go on. But what you do also notice is there is a small unit of crust soldiers in the marketplace on watch. And they see you guys walk by, and they're familiar with who you guys are now, as Barristone has let his soldiers know who the big swinging D's are around town.
Yeah.
Or the up-and-coming big swinging D's.
And Cloaca.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cloaca ran all the way up there.
I love it. So let's, for the purposes of, I don't know, I may just putting the soldiers on the map, but I don't know. They're right there, and it's a unit of standard crust soldier unit of six fairly well armed and armored trained soldiers.
You know, just in case.
So, Major can throw more cutthroats at us. Because we'll have backup.
Yep.
All right. Give me a minute here.
Good.
loading NPCs.
Yep.
The map's loading. Just bear with me, man. It's just taking a minute. All right. Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't like it big. I don't like it like that. I don't like it like that. I like it smaller, because otherwise it gets in the way of all the other fucking windows. Alright, so you guys head up towards Bottom Billy's Tavern. And you pass by the smelly sewers, see the busy marketplace, the crowd around you, just the people in general here, they just look disheveled, dirty. Many of them are drunks and ruffians, and you don't recognize a lot of the people. They're obviously not from around here. They're all various manner of races. Most of them are humans, but there's some... You recognize some elves and some half-elves, and there'll be an occasional dirty dwarf, and every once in a while a halfling, and very rarely you might see a little dirty gnome or something. There's all manner of the somewhat diversified races of Major's world. So you walk into this Bottom Billy's Tavern. It's dirty. It's a bit more. There's a bit more to it than most of the other buildings around, but it's still a pretty roughly built building. Several years old. The furniture's rough. It smells. You can just tell that it's just been hard men have done lots of drinking in here, and there's probably been lots of blood spilt in this inn. So you enter, and you're somewhat recognizable, Copan, I would imagine. And you guys are a bit of an odd-looking party, so...
Yeah. Got a bit of a...
Maybe you're not that recognizable,
look to
Copan,
us.
but you are a big halfling that probably stands out.
I mean, the Rivers family is known around here, and the rest of us stick out like a sore thumb, so...
Are you trying to talk, Krusty? We can't hear you.
No, I'm sitting here observing.
Ah, okay.
I think Copan probably sticks out. He's a big halfling and plate.
So as you guys walk in, everyone kind of looks around at you, and it's full. The bar's not full, but mostly full. But in particular, you notice a group of 4. I guess they're probably at this table. What appears to be 4 members of the meaner and dirtier, and kind of obviously appear to be like a local gang. And one of them matches the description of Elton Fingers as being... We'll say he gave a description that he generally wears a blue robe. So as you obviously notice that it's him, and you don't have any other knowledge of him, Copan, other than what he's just some unknown orphan to you from Hickory Hill.
Well,
So
I mean,
you
the
met-
guy's right there. Should we just go talk to him?
Yeah.
So as you walk in, the guy behind the bar kind of greets you a little bit, and kind of as you walk in, you just walk right by the bartender.
Maybe get a drink on our way in.
I guess.
Might as well.
I guess we. I'd reply with the courteous. Hail, friend.
How you doing? Bottom Billy. And he offers you guys drinks, and I don't know. You can mark it 0. Mark 1 gold off as shit's cheap here, and you get some not very clean looking mugs and some
tastes cheap too.
Some cheap ass beer that seems heavily watered.
I hope it's water anyway.
I think Copan would sit his mug on the bar and say, "We have business with one of your patrons."
And he looks over at you, and he kind of recognizes you a little bit, Copan, as you're the biggest halfling in the county. And I like saying "in the county." It's my new thing. It's kind of old-timey in a way, but also new-timey.
Yeah.
Hi, Dorothy. Yeah, you're the loudest little dog bitch in the county. He kind of looks over at you, and then he looks around and he says, "I don't want no trouble in my place. You take any problems that you might have out of here."
Well, we don't got any problems. We just want to talk and drink.
He says, "Good, let's keep it that way."
Look at the glass.
All right, well, you greeted Bottom Billy, and he told you not to trash his bar, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
If you guys go over to talk, I'm actually gonna Elisenda's gonna casually just kind of stroll over and be leaning up against this barrel. So that she can put her back to the wall, the 2 walls, and kind of like survey to see if anyone else is coming in the door.
As you sit over there, there's also like there's a drunk who's kind of almost semi-passed out over in that corner, like laying in the corner, and he looks up as you are kind of taking your little observing perch, and he looks up and smiles, and he starts hitting on you. Well, you come over here, you like, elf babe, and you come and see me.
All right. Well, she's gonna play along, and she's gonna tell him, like, "Oh, honey, I don't think you can handle me right now. How about you take a nap, and when you wake up, you can try again."
He continues to like pester you and garble nonsense towards you, and he makes your spying task or watching what's going on somewhat difficult. He's distracting. You might might play with that. Why don't you roll a persuasion on him to try and get him to leave you alone? You're able to kind of like get his hands off of you, and you find that he has a half full drink nearby that's like set up over on this barrel. You grab it and hand it to him, and that seems to instantly take his attention.
Nice.
All right, back at the table, as you guys walk up to this table of apparent thugs, cutthroats, and accused book thieves. They all take notice of you instantly as you get closer, and they all kind of tense up a little bit and prepare for you to sit down. And you walk up to the side of the table, and they all just kind of eyeball you and look, and kind of, some of them just have like evil, dirty grins. One of them's using his dagger to just kind of pick at his nails. One of them's eating. Cutthroat Rats 3's eating. And Elton looks up at you and kind of just glares as you walk towards the table.
Copan would look at Elton and he would say, "Are you Elton Fingers?"
He kind of looks up at you and he looks back and he says, "I might be. What's it to you?"
I would just say, "I'm Copan Rivers. I'm a ward of Lord Crust, and I'm here on behalf of Willem Feathers, the caretaker of Larry Feathers' collections."
You see,
you had a dispute.
When you mention the name Willem Feathers, you see him kind of, his face kind of smile and turn up, and he just kind of like shakes his head to the side at the mention of his name, like he's dismissing that person. And he looks back up at you and he says, I dealt with the guards weeks ago. They didn't find no book." And he says, "Besides, even if I had taken that book, or those books, he owed me. I was an apprentice for that chump for a year. I'd smelled his shit, cooked his food, cleaned up after him. You know how many spells and cantrips he taught me? 0, because the man isn't really a wizard. He's just a smelly human." And then he looked at you and he said, "He owed me for my years. An apprentice is supposed to get taught magic. Ain't that the way it works? Oh, heroic Copan."
I don't disagree that he may have been a
I'd say
shitty
that's
master.
Hard to argue. That's...
But that still doesn't give you the right to steal his books.
He kind of smiles and laughs when he says, and he just says, "I didn't steal any of his books." And kind of laughs and looks over at his buddies, and they all kind of chuckle.
Elton, you basically admitted it just now. I mean, why are you fucking around?
He says, "Oh, did I?" He says, "Who are you? You're just some son of a tavern keeper. What are you in this neighborhood?" And at that, you see all of the other cutthroats kind of tense up, and they perk up and become look like they are almost ready for action.
Nice.
I'm nothing more than a free halfling of Hickory Hill.
We're just here.
After a minute of everyone getting a little tense and kind of everybody doing a lot of eyeball fucking, Elton will kind of relax a bit and sit back in his seat and smile, and he says, "I have no books. I didn't steal his books. He lost his books." And he kind of smiles again, and he says, I don't know what more I can tell you."
I'm gonna ask Elton. I'm gonna say you seem like a pretty successful wizard yourself. You seem like, despite Willem's lack of tutelage, you seem to have done a good amount of studying.
He says,
Maybe you could help us look for these books.
he kind of looks and scoffs and kind of laughs and says, I taught myself, as that stupid wizard wouldn't teach me anything. He says, and it's only been since I left his service that I've had time to learn anything. And he obviously looks to be more of a capable wizard than that, though. He doesn't appear to be a...
Yeah.
You could just look at him and tell that he...
I say his token, he looks a lot more wizardly than Willem, that's for sure.
At this moment, the doors to the inn open.
Attic.
The doors to the inn open, and Elisenda, who should appear but two heavily armed knights, soldiers that you previously saw in the inn, the Naked Halfling Inn, from your uncle. You recognize them as being kind of the mid-level, middle management soldiers from your uncle's household guard. And you remember seeing 3 of them earlier, but right now there's just 2. And they walk into the bar and kind of stop and look around, and they stop at the bar and grab some drinks, and then they kind of glance around and they move over towards a table. Are you going to try and hide yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say, do I see them before they see me? Because I would.
Yeah.
Try.
Well, everyone kind of as the doors opened, and everyone kind of turned and looked as they'll do in this tough bar.
Looking at the door.
And you noticed it because everyone kind of stopped and just looked over to see who walked in, and these guys kind of made a lot of noise as they're in like full plate. They kind of clamored in. And they get their drinks and kind of go sit at a table that's open near the door and sit down and start kind of chatting and kind of looking around. It doesn't appear that they're like actively looking for you here. It appears they just walked into the bar. So if you're trying to make yourself less conspicuous.
Yep.
Why don't you roll a stealth check?
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of, like pull my cloak over my face nonchalantly, move over, and I'm gonna try and walk over and talk to Copan and Bjorn here. And on my way by, I'll kind of whisper to Gurgleberg that trouble just walked in. Don't do this.
Maybe we should bounce.
So you are able to, like an elf probably can, pull your hood up, and you kind of deftly slide over and whisper to Gurgleberg, and then what are you saying to Copan?
I'm telling the Copan and Bjorn that he said he doesn't have the books. We can maybe buy him a drink and ask him about where he thinks that his master could have lost them another time, but we're in a little bit more trouble than we were 2 minutes ago.
As you're sitting there whispering to Copan, Elton kind of looks at you whispering, and then he glances over at the elf soldiers, and he looks back at you, and he smiles, and he says, "Oh," and he looks and goes, "I bet you're Elisenda." And then he glances back over and he says, "And those would be the men looking for you." And he says, "I wonder what we should do, boys." And he looks over at his cutthroat friends.
How about sit down and shut the fuck up?
And he says, "Ooh, that's the wrong answer." And he says, "Oh, elf soldiers!" He shouts, and then he
no.
backs up and just shouts. And the elf soldiers look over, and he points over as he backs up. He points over at you, Elisanda, and he says, "I believe the little wench you're looking for is here." And he smiles and laughs, and he says, "Don't ever threaten me in Shantytown, Copan Rivers." Roll for initiative.
Oh, shit. Very nice. Wilson is on it. Oh no, Elton's faster. Quick on the draw.
All right, top of the order, Elton Fingers. After pointing at Elisenda and alerting the elf soldiers by the door that one Elisenda is standing right there. Elton Fingers is going to... He's going to use his action to open this window behind him and jump out it. And it takes an action to move through the window, we'll say. You gotta kind of like crawl through it. It's small, and you gotta kind of hop up, and then you gotta kind of hop down once you're through it. So he uses his action, and then he runs out of sight.
He gone.
Well, he just jumped out the window and ran down the side of the building.
Bjorn doesn't have object permanence, so he's just gone.
Well, Elisenda, there's 3 nasty-looking cutthroats right in front of you. They've drawn their weapons as Elton shouted and pointed you out, and the elf soldiers, they haven't really drawn their weapons or anything yet. They're just still in like drinking mode, sitting at the table, but they've obviously been alerted. So, what do you want to do?
I mean, these guys haven't actually attacked me yet, eh?
They've drawn weapons, I'll say.
They've drawn weapons. All right.
They're threateningly in front of you with weapons drawn.
All right. Well then, it's time to go into my rich girl rage for sure.
Nice.
Here.
You're not taking me back to my uncle! Rah!
And so she is going to step right into the... Oh, these guys aren't actually on the grid, eh? I want to be like right there in between all of them. Because then everyone else gets melee advantage. Remember that, guys. And then I'm going to attack Cutthroat Rat 1 with my big ass fucking sword.
Oh, you go to swing at him, but your sword gets stuck in the table behind you. As you maybe should have not went for so big of a swing.
Brutal.
Is that it?
Yeah.
You don't have any rage effects on Elisenda.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Just for
Same with Reckless.
your own good. Gurgleberg. You see Elisenda try and hack one of these cutthroats, but ineffective. Dorothy, you gotta stop.
What about these elf soldiers below us? Are they?
So they're
Hostile.
still drinking.
Are they the ones
At
after
this point.
Elisanda?
They totally are.
Alright, well, Scribbleberg's not gonna abide that. And he says, "Rari, Billy!" and runs over and attacks this guy. Alright. We'll hit him with the unarmed attack as well.
I'm picturing the soldier drinking, getting kung fu'd by the Murloc, man.
Yeah, he was just sitting there drinking and then looked to see this shouting and recognize that Elisanda's over there, and they're like starting to get up, and then all of a sudden this Murloc just comes starts kicking him.
Alright.
The first cutthroat tries to stab you with a short sword. Oh.
No,
Oh,
no.
and since he's near his buddies, he gets a sneak attack. Wow! He stabs you for 5 damage after all that.
No. Terrible rolls
roll.
plus rage. It's great.
And then he's going to use his bonus action to disengage. He's going to go hopping over this table and start moving behind you. Cutthroat Rat 2. Gonna attack you too. You raging elf babe. And he is also going to get the sneak attack, as these cutthroats are stabbing you for 4 more damage. And then he is also going to disengage and move this way. Cutthroat 3. Same deal. Stab. He misses. He disengages, and he starts moving towards this window too, where Elton went out. Copan.
Copan would look around and say they'll never take Elisenda and cast Bless on our frontliners. And then he's going to look down to Gurglerberg and shout some encouragement. Hang on a second. Where's the move targets? There we go. And shout some encouragement and say, "Roar!" And give him a bardic inspiration.
Alright.
There you go. And he's going to... He's going to move to like a more central position over here. And that's it.
Bjorn.
Bjorn is going to cast Bane on the 3 cutthroat rats over here. Yeah, I haven't got to use that one yet. Got that with my Fey Touch feat. So they should each get a save, and it's basically opposite Bless. So they succeed, and fail. And so I believe if I drag that into chat, it should, automatically apply to the right people. Perfect. And that takes up that use, marked at 0. And so, Cutthroat Rat 3 is now anti-blessed. And then I'm just going to step back here a little bit. Then I end my turn.
He's like cursed in a way.
Yep. So he gets a -1d4 on all of his
Yeah.
attack rolls and saving throws.
It's like Major playing college football games.
Yeah. Didn't realize you turned the difficulty up higher.
Just Bane. Just
Yeah.
just cursed. Billy the bartender seems just like, shit, not again, and like ducks behind the bar.
I say he's got to be used to it running this place.
Uncle Elf Soldiers 1 grabs all of his shit, his weapons, and stands up and swings at you, Gurgleberg, his greatsword. Oh, that's a big hit as he just comes, this monstrous sword of this giant knight comes flying down on you for 15 damage. As these are some big boys. These are some solid soldiers.
Also, just max damage.
This guy does the same, swings his sword at you. And blasts you for 6 more damage.
Much more
As
reasonable.
these two knights, perhaps maybe Gurgleberg shouldn't have charged right at the two knights sitting on the table.
Yeah. How else are you gonna fuck around and find out? Can't find out if you don't fuck around.
Elisenda.
Well, Alicenda, she's like the wolf totem, that's her thing, so she knows what her pack's up to. She pays attention to the battlefield, and she knows that Gurgleberg is getting rocked. So, 25. Is the table difficult terrain? If I go right over a table?
Yeah.
So that's just that's double, right?
Yeah.
So it's 5. I mean, either way, I can make it. I think it should be 25. So yeah, even an extra 10 for the table is fine. So she fucking eats herself right over this table. Just going directly for Uncle Elf Soldier number 1. And she's gonna try and give him a taste of his own medicine here. Big old great sword. And she's gonna use her bardic inspiration. From Copan's marvelous song that he sings about her.
Wait, do you have one?
Yeah.
I think it's just
When?
it's just a D4, isn't it? No, it's a D6, isn't it?
D6. I have one from last session.
I think it expires.
Yeah, they expire
Oh,
after
that's
10
okay.
minutes. Yeah.
After
Yeah, it's
10
a-
minutes? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like a in-battle thing.
Then never mind.
Unless
Forget
you
about
get...
that whole second part.
Alright. So you come up there to save Gurgleberg, and you swing and a miss.
Fucking miss. Alright, that's it. A 1 and a 3. Not great so far.
Gurgleberg. You got chonked by 2 big old swords.
Alright. Yeah, I did. Let's see. Well, I think.
You have advantage in attacking Elf Soldier 1 right now.
Alright.
Just for the record.
Well, I'll do that. I'll attack him.
Very nice.
Yeah. Alright. I want to continue to attack Soldier 2, actually. Well, now let's go attack 1. We'll continue to attack him. Unarmed attack. A hit.
Oh,
Monk Ninja Murloc just starts kicking and punching this guy in full plate.
We'll do another key
kapow,
point.
kapow. Nice. Hell yeah.
All right. This Cutthroat Rats 1 is gonna he's gonna just step over this way, and he's gonna pull out his little hand crossbow, and he's gonna take a shot at you, Copan. And that's a hit.
Ouch.
As this little arrow shoots you in the back of the neck for
Coward.
8 damage. And it hurts. Rats 2. He's gonna attack you with his sword. That's a hit.
Jesus.
Some hot little dice coming from the cutthroats. Oh, and then he's going to use his bonus action to disengage. And he's going to run back over this way. Copan.
Copan knows about Elisenda the elf. Can he jump up on this table here and attack, focus down the elf soldier with his friends here?
Yes.
All right, and he's going to do that with advantage. He's going to swing his long sword.
Got the high ground.
Yeah. Looks like it hit, and he's going to use a first level smite. For 18 damage. And with the second inspiration, he's going to look over to Elisenda and be like, we got these guys. No worries at all. And inspire her a little bit with some confidence. And
They'll never take you back to your incestuous family, Alessandra. Bjorn, what you got?
Oh man. The things that I want to do all take concentration, and that's going to be a problem the entire time I play this character. So I am going to catapult. I'm going to launch one of these like bowls off of one of these tables at Cutthroat Rat 3, the guy in the window. He's going to make a DC 14 Dex saving throw. It should be DC -4 because he's baned. Hell yeah. That didn't matter, but it's still good. It was effective. So he's going to get smashed with a bowl of soup.
Oof.
Yeah, do some damage.
They don't have soup here. It's gruel. A bowl of gruel.
Yep. And like it's pretty hot, so it burns a little bit when it hits him.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That would look cool. In like
right.
If it were shot in a movie, all of a sudden the wizard just picks up a bowl and chucks it at the guy. Just fucking jacks
I love the flavor
him.
of catapult. Such a fun spell.
All right, the Billy continues to cower. Elf Soldier 1's pretty beat up, but he's gonna swing his greatsword at he's gonna swing at you, Copan. This freak halfling over here, and he misses. Elf Soldier 2 can only reach you, Gurgleberg, so you get the wrath. And that's a miss as you dodge out of the way, ninja style. You hear outside the open kind of door, or it's not open, but it's not the most sealed door. You hear like soldier shouts, and because this has been kind of a loud, boisterous thing, and people have been kind of screaming as this fight kind of broke out. You hear what sounds like soldiers coming this way, as you just hear like the clatter of armor and boots outside the door. Elisenda.
She's gonna scream in a rage, and without any thought for her own safety, she's gonna fucking try and finish off Elf Soldier 1 here.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Boom.
And
Damn, just
Hell
like
yeah.
that.
Boom.
and
The evil men sent to drag you back to your incestuous relationship. Die.
like that.
Die a bloody death on the floor of Bottom Billy's Tavern.
Yeah. And then she's gonna step forward over this guy and engage the next guy.
Not much to look at when you wipe them off your boot. Do you have any other actions?
Sure don't.
Gurglebird.
Alright. I got booted out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there we go. Alright, so we get 2 left.
Elf Soldier 2, and then all the rats. And then
Alright,
guards outside. On their way in.
we gotta hit him with the short sword. Alright,
Noise, noise.
yeah, the Blessed Clubman and Clutch.
Hell yeah. Max damage.
Yeah. Oh no. We use our bardic inspiration on that. Ah.
Oh,
No, it's a 1d8. It's a 1d8, right?
How is it a
it's a
1d8?
D6.
He's a
It's a
level
D6.
2 bard. Come on.
I don't fucking know, man.
It was a good try. It was kind of a Hail Mary.
Does a 14 hit?
Probably not.
No, not these guys. These guys are in lots of armor.
Alright, I'll use the key point to another attack then. Oh, another miss.
Ugh.
You've
Brutal.
been giving yourself advantage, right? On all these attacks.
Nope.
You should remove your bardic inspiration from your sheet.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
I think Krusty has to.
Oh.
I get
Fantasy
advantage on all
Grounds
those
is
attacks.
weird about.
I get it.
If you're
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 next to-
attacking, you're next to me and I'm raging, so the
Oh,
wolf
that's right, I
pack
forgot.
shit. We got
Oh, fucking roll that shit
advantage
over.
on it.
Roll both of those bitches over.
Sorry, I was packing a bowl and didn't see what was happening.
So your first one would have hit.
Yeah, I got an attack off on that one, so. Yeah, good. That's my turn. 2 hits.
Did
This all sounds made up.
it is.
Alright, Cutthroat Rats 1. Sees you over there playing grab ass with the elf soldiers, and he's gonna shoot a hand crossbow at you, Gurglebird. And you know what?
Good luck with that.
That's a miss.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Well, he
Yeah,
missed.
Okay.
I don't know what you would
try.
do something about it. You wanna try to catch it.
Try and catch it. I think it's one that has to hit me though. When you're hit by yeah. It's not if you're missed. It's gotta hit you.
Yep.
All right.
He. Oh, why is this window so big? He moves over this way then and prepares to go out this window. These rats are abandoning ship. Cutthroat Rats 2 is also going to take a shot at you because he recognizes an ugly murloc when he sees one. Oh, and it's a 1. And it's a bad shot. It like hits the floor at your feet. Like, how did he miss that bad? And then he kind of moves towards his buddy. This going out the window. Number 3. He's gonna take a shot at you, Bjorn, standing right in front of him.
Yep. Well,
And he
I rolled at
misses.
him. Somehow. Oh, because he's baned and also rolled bad.
Copan.
Copan sees that Uncle Elf Soldier 2 is well in hand. And he sees this other guy shooting at Bjorn. He doesn't like that, so he's going to roll up here. Say, step up, you cowardly cutthroat rat. And he's going to hit him with his long sword.
Nice.
For just straight damage. Oh.
Nice.
Copan just steps up and murders this innocent cutthroat rat's 3. Right there.
Innocent cutthroat.
And
Tried
innocent
to kill my
cutthroat
friend.
rat's 3's life ends right here on the floor of Bottom Billy's Tavern.
That's it.
Bjorn.
All right. I am torn between casting web on the rats or damaging something on the elf soldiers too. I kind of want to finish off the soldiers, but yeah, soldier's going right after me. I'm gonna try to take out the soldier. I'm gonna catapult the soldier. Spend another first level spell slot on the elf soldiers too. That's down by Elisenda and Gurgle. And he's going to make DC 14 dex save, which he fails, so he gets knocked over the head with a cup full of something. Alright. And then that's my turn.
He's wounded and his buddy's been murdered right where they just came in for a drink and look what happened. Just some innocent guys
attacked
from
us.
out of town. And he's gonna turn and he's gonna look at you little wench, and he's gonna attack you, Elisenda. And he smashes you for 4 damage.
Smash. 4 damage. Come on. Come on. It's just a flesh wound.
The door flies open and crust soldiers appear in the doorway. And they kind of like survey the situation. Elisenda.
Alright. Elisenda. So, sorry, I just need to check my tracker. She is going to swing down with her greatsword and try and knock out the second elf soldier. Kind of swing it around and hit him in the face with the pommel.
Oh, you want to do a non-lethal blow?
Non-lethal.
Yeah. Alright, but I will use the Bardic Inspiration this time around.
Hell yeah.
All right, 1d4 then,
That
right?
The Bardic Inspiration?
Oh yeah, that'll hit. 21 will hit.
21 will hit, right?
Yeah, and you just use the pommel as this Uncle Elf Soldier's barely standing, and it's enough to you smash him on the where his helmet doesn't quite cover, kind of knocks off the side of his helmet, and you hit him on the side of his head where after the helmet's kind of loose, and he kind of falls unconscious onto the table.
So I'll just look at the crust holder unit there, and I'll nod to him, and I'll just quickly say, he's an illegal bounty hunter on your land, and those guys drew knives on us. And she points over to the cutthroats, and then she's gonna start moving over with her sword to get close to the cutthroats here. And that'll be the end of my turn.
Gurgleberg.
Gurgleberg's gonna do this guy in.
Oh man, look at that! No. You should have advantage on it because he's prone.
Oh, yep. Oh,
I just didn't actually put him prone.
All right, that's a hit.
Hey, pays off. Hell yeah.
While Elisenda just knocked him out as he fell onto the table, Gurgleberg decides to just shoves his short sword into the unconscious man, as now he is no longer just an unconscious man. He is now a dead
he was
man.
already at zero hit points.
Yeah, he was lying on the table.
So I don't get my I don't get the temporary hit points then.
Well, technically he had one
Bummer.
hit point.
Oh, well then I do.
Oh, perfect.
And then he's gonna fucking do this and leap over the table. Why not? Need a dex check or extra movement?
To leap over the table?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cross and knock everything off it.
It's difficult terrain.
Okay. I got extra movement, so.
Sounds made up.
I say he only went 20 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can go
Small
I
room.
can go
It is a small bar.
Go 35. So well, yeah, the first attack took out that one guy, so I've got technically 2 more potentially.
If you spend them key, I want you to mark it 0.
I am. I've only got 1 left now. Boom.
Elisenda.
Alright. Alisandra's gonna walk up, and she's gonna attack Cutthroat 3 here. Or Cutthroat 2.
Wait, didn't Gurgleberg just go? I'm totally confused.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not Alicenda's turn.
It's not your turn.
Oh.
It was. I hadn't moved the combat tracker order thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I'm just
So it
stunned.
should be the rats.
Yeah, it's all right. We're all still. That's what happens. Copan, from where you're standing, you hear out that window that Elton had jumped. You hear what sounds like fighting coming from outside.
Oh shit.
Cutthroat Rat 1 is gonna move up on Gurgleberg, and he's gonna give him the short sword. And it's a miss. And then he's gonna use his bonus action to disengage and start running along this area. Uncertain where he's going as there's a bunch of cops in the doorway. Cutthroat Rats 2 is going to use his short sword to try and stab Gurgleberg. And he misses, and then he's going to bonus action disengage. And he's going to move over towards this window here, but it takes an action to get out this window. Copan.
Copan is going to take his javelin and chuck it at Cutthroat Rats 2.
Fuck yeah.
Come on. That's a hit. Oops. I didn't need to roll another attack on him. It was supposed to be damage. 7 damage.
You murdered him as he was getting ready to climb out the window. He just takes a
He did just
javelin
try to
right
stab Nurgle.
in his back.
And I'm going to use my movement to go, and can I, like, peek out the window?
Yeah, you can
See if I
stick
can
your
see
head
the
out the
fighting.
window. You kind of like, as you get closer to the window, you can hear more like shouting and fighting coming from. You're not certain it's not like directly out the window. It sounds like it's kind of around the side of the building to your left.
Can I get out the window? You said that takes an action.
It takes an action because it's like a small window and it's off the ground and it's not easy to like crawl into. And then once you're on the other side, it's like high enough up that you can't just like really like just hop it. You gotta kind of carefully lower your legs and stuff, you know?
Understood. I'm done.
All
Bjorn.
right. This feels a bit like overkill, but I am going to cast Hold Person on the Cutthroat Rats 1. Because if they fail, they're paralyzed for a minute, and then I want to yell at the Crust soldiers to arrest those rats. They attacked us and ambushed us, and we fought for our survival. So yeah, they're paralyzed now for a minute. Or, I mean, they get to make a save at the end of each turn, but...
I got you. But they are held.
Yeah. But the idea is that I want the soldiers to arrest them and to not arrest us.
All right, well, we are back to the top of the order, and it being 11:02, I think it's a good place to stop, as it looks like you've taken out everyone inside the bar for the most part, but what's going on outside this bar around the side of the building? And guess we'll have to find out next week.
Yeah.
As one Elton Fingers did slip out the window early on, so wonder if he's not out on the side of the building fighting something or somebody. But yeah, we'll do that next Tuesday.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Dope.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
It was a
Shit.
cliffhanger.